7 revolutionary ways that you can start using today to not only beat but rather destroy the Google Ads algorithm and improve your sales with Google Shopping Ads, Google Search Ads, basically the entire marketing platform fast. A lot of e-commerce store owners unfortunately make Google Ads much harder than it really has to be. But in reality, the more that you keep things simple, the better results that you're gonna get, not only with just Google Ads alone, but with your entire Shopify store. And these 7 things you'll be learning by the end of this video have helped me for the past 4 to 5 years not only make a bunch of money with Google Ads, but keep it consistent for these 4 to 5 years. Because as you know, if you're from Facebook, if you're from Pinterest, TikTok, there's a lot of ups and downs with those platforms. However, with Google, you can achieve a level of profitability that too consistently over time. But the very first way that you can start using it right away in order to beat your competitors, in order to beat the Google Ads algorithm itself in 2022 and onwards, is to use the audiences section of your campaigns and further increase the results that you get with your Google Ads account. Now, what do I mean by this exactly? Right now, we're looking at my screen right over here at one specific campaign. This is actually a general testing campaign, which I always recommend that you start running within my other videos. But if we go inside this specific general testing campaign, first things first, this has a lot of impressions. It has 52 million impressions, and that's because it's been running since 2019. So almost 3 years now. And so far it has spent about $27,000, not too much for this 2-year period. However, this is a low bid campaign, those that I recommend in my other YouTube videos. So the bid is only about 10 cents. But the important thing is we were getting a cost per conversion of around $24, which for this account is extremely profitable. But what I want to do is I want to take you to the main section of this campaign, which is the audiences section, and what I'm talking about right now. So if we click on the show table button right over here, we can currently see all of the different audiences within this individual campaign. And as you can see, since the beginning of time, and these audiences were added about 2020, so February 2020, but since then these audiences have spent not too much money compared to the rest of the campaign, so only about $500, not too much, again only because this is a low bid campaign. But what I want you to see is I want you to see the overall results that these audiences have gotten. So first things first, the audience with the highest ROAS for it is this one right here, which is the shopping cart abandoners campaign. Obviously an audience for those people that abandon their carts on my website. So far it spent only about $7.49, but it has a 98x ROAS because in total it got me $736 in revenue, which is about 5 sales in total. Not a very big number. However, this explains my point exactly. What happens when you insert these individual audiences within your entire campaign, especially if your account was just recently started, maybe your campaign was just recently started, not the account itself, is now the campaign and the algorithm will feed off of this data. Now, what do I mean by this exactly? What happens is, let's say you imported these audiences directly from Google Analytics, or you already had a ton of data on your Google Ads account and you just decided to create these audiences. Now, this campaign is able to go into these audience pockets. It's able to take out that data from these audience packets and then apply it to the algorithm that is serving this campaign. So the way that you beat the Google Ads algorithm in this case is you are basically bypassing the warm-up period that a Google Ads campaign has to go through, especially in the initial stages, or even when you just create a brand new campaign for your Google Ads account, regardless of how much data it has. What happens is every Google Ads campaign that is started from scratch has to go through this warm-up period just because of the sheer fact that it is brand new. And when you go in and you manually insert these audiences within that campaign, now when the algorithm is analyzing that entire campaign, it's analyzing all of the data, all of the settings within that campaign, it comes to this audiences section that you see on the screen, and it goes through each of these audience one by one, because what it tries to do is it tries to extract data from all of these multitude of audiences to then insert into the main algorithm serving this audience. So essentially what you just did is you bypass that entire warm-up period, because now if you have a million different sales already and with 100,000 cart abandoners, the Google Ads algorithm will take all of the data from the shopping cart abandoners, and this is assuming that you set all of these audiences up in a way that it is on observation only instead of targeting. So this is very important. You should put the setting when adding these audiences as observation, not targeting, because otherwise this becomes only a warm traffic and a hot traffic audience, which you don't want. You want it to rather observe these audiences. But when it observes these audiences, it then extracts the data, puts it into the main algorithm, which then uses it to go out and find similar people that match these criteria. So now essentially again, you just beat the algorithm and your sales will 99% of this time start off at a much higher rate. And this is simply because again, these audiences are warm audiences, hot audiences. As you can see with the overall ROAS that they get, it's a 13x ROAS, a 98x ROAS. These are insane results, and this really speeds up your campaign, which in turn speeds up the data optimization process, the data capturing process, which enables you to then beat the algorithm in its own way and just speed it through that entire warm-up period process. The third way that this works really well is if you already have a Google Ads campaign running, regardless of whether it's a shopping campaign or a search campaign, you can go in and add these audiences in to boost that campaign's results. Because over time, again, if it's on observation, it will observe this data and then it will try to feed it to the current optimization. So the optimization will become smarter much faster. So this is way number one to beat the Google Ads algorithm. Just whatever campaigns you have running, or if you're planning to start brand new campaigns, go into the audiences section and add all of these audiences up, which brings me to point number two of beating the algorithm the right way. And this is directly through the audiences one more time. But this time, what you will be doing is, let's say you have a lot of data on your Shopify store, but you are just starting out with Google Ads, or maybe you already have a lot of data with Google Ads, but you don't have all of these audiences set up. What you would rather do is you would go to the tools and settings section from the top right, and you would go to the audience manager section, because here, if you have your Google Analytics account connected to your Shopify store, you can then import all of the audiences from Google Analytics onto Google Ads directly, as long as you link that Google Analytics account to your Google Ads account. So from this section right over here, there is a way for you to directly import whatever audiences you have created on Google Analytics to the Google Ads account. Now the process is a bit in depth, so if you want me to make a video on that, let me know down in the comment section below. But for now, you can just go ahead and Google as to how to import your audiences from Google Analytics to Google Ads. Of course, you will need to create those audiences first, but one of the best ways to kind of bypass the overall delay that you might have with getting the audiences from Google Ads, especially if it's a brand new Google Ads account. This is one of the best ways to beat the algorithm. Just simply import all of the data that you have from Google Analytics onto Google Ads. But this brings me to way number three as to how you can beat the Google Ads algorithm, and that is you can create a simple SKAG campaign initially to go ahead and speed up the data gathering process. Now, what do I mean by this exactly? A lot of times what you will notice is that your shopping campaign, especially on a brand new account, takes about 3 to 4 weeks to really get going. So what a SKAG campaign will do, and it could be a branded search campaign, meaning a campaign just for people typing in your brand name, or a SKAG campaign, meaning a single keyword ad group campaign, just targeting one of your major winning products if you already have a winning product, or just any product from your store. And I made a whole video on search campaigns, which you can watch. The link is in the top right. Go ahead and watch that after this one if you need help on creating search campaigns. But a SKAG campaign can definitely boost your overall results that you get initially, at least in terms of gathering data. Now, to illustrate this a bit further, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you inside of one of my Google Ads accounts that I'm handling under my agency, yourmarketing.com. And if you're doing over $30,000 in sales and you want somebody to kind of scale your brand further with Google Ads specifically, go onto my website at yourmarketing.com and book a free call with me to see if I can help you scale your brand to the next level. But this brand right you see right here currently has 2 search campaigns running. Unfortunately, their Google Merchant Center has not yet been approved. So as a result, we're forced to just launch these search campaigns. But as you can see so far, these search campaigns have gotten this account a lot of data. The first campaign got 2,000 sales, which is actually an accurate number. The second campaign, 44 sales, and in total we have a 2.78x ROAS with these 2 search campaigns, which in my opinion is an absolutely amazing number, because the break-even ROAS for this brand is about a 1.5x. So the beauty about this is that now we launch search campaigns. This account is already optimized. It is already good to go. So come the time to launch those shopping campaigns, this account will already have a lot of data to work off of. If we had just waited for the shopping campaign to just begin and for the Google Merchant Center to get approved, by this time we would still have 0 sales, and this account, once the shopping campaign was running, would need about 3 to 4 weeks to really get going. So we kind of bypassed that by just launching these search campaigns. And you can do the same thing for your own brand, especially if you're just starting a brand new Google Ads account, or if you already have a Google Ads account but it's not really getting the results that you want. Just go in and launch a SKAG campaign for any winning product or just any product that a lot of people look at on your website. One of the best ways to kind of beat the Google Ads algorithm and take your e-commerce store to the next level much faster. But this brings me to point number 4, and that is simply connect your Google Analytics account to your Google Ads account. Now this goes back to point number 2 really, where I talked about importing your audiences from your Google Analytics account into your Google Ads account. This is kind of something that you should be doing in addition if you already haven't done it. One simple way to bypass the Google Ads algorithm, to bypass the result that you are getting with Google Ads and to beat the algorithm, is simply connect your Google Analytics account to your Google Ads account. Just this step alone can make your Google Ads account algorithm much more powerful, and that is simply because now once this connection is established, Google Ads can go directly into your Google Analytics account through this link. It can look at all of the data that Google Analytics account has accumulated over time, and it can use it to its own advantage. So this is where it can use the audience data, this is where it can use the link clicks data, the impression data, all of that data, because it can look a bit further into the Google Analytics account and see exactly what kind of people interacted with your ads, what demographics they were, what were their initial interests, and so forth. Because trust me, Google Analytics has a very in-depth process of recording all of this information. So once you make that connection, your Google Analytics account instantly becomes 10 times smarter. And there's no better way to beat the Google Ads algorithm than to just make this connection established and then let Google Ads do the rest of the work. Again, you can kind of go further into this by doing step number 2, which is importing all of those audiences from your Google Analytics account into your Google Ads account. This will kind of further make the algorithm much more stronger, which can let you beat the Google Ads algorithm right away. But just this step alone can really save you a lot of things, even if you end up not importing all of the audiences that you have within your Google Analytics account. But step number 5 as to how you can beat the Google Ads algorithm right now is by doing something very simple within the conversion tracking code. And the simple step is simply enabling enhanced conversions. Now, exactly what is this? Before I tell you exactly what this is, let's go on to our tools and settings section from the top right. Under measurement, we're going to go to conversions, because what we will be doing is we will be enabling one checkbox within your purchase conversions setup. So within your purchases section under your tag, you will go onto the main conversion action, which is for your purchases. In this case, this is the first tag that I have right here. From here, you'll be looking at the third option right here, the third dropdown, which says enhance conversions. It says improve the accuracy of your conversions by matching them with the information provided by people who convert on your website. This is a no-brainer, one of the most powerful things you can do. For you, it will be unchecked, so all you need to do is you need to go ahead and check this box right here. Once you check that box, it will say on the bottom to start, select how you want to set up enhanced conversions, and you will need to properly set up enhanced conversions. You can set up a direct API integration with Google to send in the customer data for matching, and you can get instructions right over here, or you can contact the Simprocess Feed app team to help you set this up. This is exactly how I was able to set it up. I directly contacted the Simprocess app team and they were able to do this for me right over here. And you would just need to click next, and with their help, just take it from here. Or you can also do it yourself and just do the global site tag or the Google Tag Manager. It's entirely up to you. But one of the most important things that you can do for your business in 2022 and onwards, especially if you have over 50 to 100 sales. So I don't recommend this if you don't have 50 to 100 sales, but if you do, it's a no-brainer. Just go in and enable this. And if you read on the right, it says enhanced conversions keep your data confidential and secure using the same industry-leading standards we use to protect our own users' data. So there's no kind of data breaching in this case, that your data is very safe and secure. It will directly be fed to Google's algorithm, which is then going to use this to become smarter much faster, and then implement this data into your current running Google Ads campaign. So basically a no-brainer if you want to beat the Google Ads algorithm in 2022 and onwards. But Again, just go on over to your tools and settings, choose the main conversion action under purchases, and under the third drop down, just go ahead and enable this. But this brings me to the sixth model on the list, which can help you increase your sales over time and beat the Google Ads algorithm significantly. And it has to do on this page as well within the conversion actions for purchase. It is the last one right here, which says attribution model. Now, with attribution models, there's a lot of different attribution model available for you out there. What you will need to do, especially if you have 50 sales or more, is watch my video on data attribution models as to which attribution model is the right attribution model for you, because this is not a simple choosing one over the other. Most of the accounts start off with last click. Once you have enough data, you should move on to linear. However, this will again depend on a lot of different factors. So you want to watch my video on data attribution models as to how that should be chosen. But this is the next way as to how you can beat the Google Ads algorithm. Simply choose a better attribution model. Now, there are better ones. Again, as I said, default is the last click. After about 50 to 100 sales, you definitely do not want to be using last click. You can move on to linear, you can move on to time decay, position based, etc. The video should definitely help you choose one over the other, which is what I recommend. But one of the best ways to kind of beat the Google Ads algorithm is by changing the attribution model. And what happens when you change the attribution model is now Google records all of your sales in a much different manner. When that happens, your campaigns are fed all of this data in a much different manner, which in turn makes your campaigns smarter much faster. So for example, if you were to use last click, it would only attribute the last chosen click as the result for your most recent sale, compared to linear, where it would take the last 4 clicks or whatever the click amount may be, maybe the last 10 clicks, and distribute that one single conversion across these 10 different sales evenly. Now, this is entirely up to the algorithm to decide, but these two different models can lead to completely different results because these two models are attributing the sale much differently. But that is why it is so important for you to choose the right attribution model based on how many sales you've gotten so far. And again, it does require a bit of a deeper analysis, which the video will definitely help you with, but that is the second to final way as to how you can beat the Google Ads algorithm and get much more sales at a much faster rate. Just go ahead and change the attribution model. But this brings me to the final way to beat the Google Ads algorithm in 2022 and onwards at a very fast pace, and that is go ahead and change your conversion windows. Now, what do I mean by this exactly? If you look into your conversion tracking right over here within your main purchase conversion action, you will see that there's multiple different conversion windows available right here. The first one is click through conversion window, second one engaged view conversion window, and finally view through conversion window. All of these are not the default models that we have chosen. You should definitely go into these and make them so that these match what we have currently right over here. First one, click through conversion window. What is this exactly? If we read what it says right here, a click through conversion window, and the conversion itself can happen days after a person interacts with your ad, and it wants you to select the maximum time after any given ad interaction that you want to count as a conversion. So there's a lot more text right over here, which you can read further, and it will explain to you exactly how this is counted. But for the click-through conversion window, we don't want to leave it on anything else besides 90 days. We want it to track so that even after 90 days, if there is any type of click-through conversion, it can be allocated to that specific campaign. Because what this is saying is, after that click, it can take up to 90 days for that given customer to convert. So we want it to be able to track that sale back to that initial campaign even 90 days after that click has happened. And we want to leave it at 90 days because what is happening now is we are increasing the overall time period of when that sale should be allocated and when that click should allocate to that given sale, which in turn makes the data itself work off of a much bigger time frame. So now that we moved it from 20 days, 30 days, all the way up to 90 days, it has a much wider time range that it can look into the data, and it can use all of that 90 days worth of data to allocate to that given audience, to that given campaign, which is going to make it much more smarter. So that's why you want to leave it at 90 days. The second one, engaged view conversion window, you want to leave it at 30 days. Again, this is more talking about the video engagement, but you want to leave it at 30 days. Third one, view through conversion window. This is talking about when after a person views your ad that you wanted to count it as a view through conversion. We want to leave it at 30 days. no more than 30 days, because as it says on the right side, a person may see your ad and not interact with it and then convert later. So we want to leave this gap to about 30 days because there's a very good chance that a customer might come back and interact to your ad after that 30-day time period and then interact with your ad once again and then finally purchase. So this is one of the best ways to beat the Google Ads algorithm, simply by extending the view through conversion windows, the click through conversion windows, and so forth. But these were the 7 different ways that you can use starting today to boost your sales with Google Ads and beat the Google Ads algorithm the right way. Again, if you're doing over $30,000 in sales already with your Shopify store and you want to take it to the next level, especially with Google Ads, or you're already running Google Ads for your brand and you want to scale it further but you need help, go onto my website at yourroommarketing.com and book a free call with me and my team to see exactly how I can personally help you scale your brand to the next level. But if you found any type of value in this video, destroy that like button down below and destroy that subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video.